Hello, 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 and welcome to Shared Spaces with Quida and Chap. Chap, how we doing today?
I was sharing with you guys before we went live. I'm tired. I've been out in the community since about 10 o'clock. A lot of stuff going on. It's a season for giveaways and giving. And of course, the violence and crime doesn't stop in the city. So I actually had my chaplain shirt on all day today. But I'm here. I woke up this morning, man. I'm blessed and was able to bless a lot of people today. So I'm doing well.
Yeah, same here. I was out in the community at Barnes Memorial. We were giving out food produce as usual. Typically, it's on Tuesday and Friday, but because of the holiday falling on a Thursday, get it out the way this Monday, and we'll be back December 3rd. But today in the studio with us, we have hometown lenders.
Hey.
Sure. All right.
Yes, yes. So I know Ryan personally, and I've met Jean a few times online or through email and such, but we are here today to talk about what you all have going on at Hometown Lenders. So who would like to introduce themselves first?
Well, I'll go first. My name is Ryan Dunstan. I am the community outreach coordinator for Hometown Lenders. I've been on you guys' show before. I had a great time talking about the community. But I don't want to steal the show, man. We got a great guest here with Mr. Gene Frazier, and he's the mind behind all of which I'm chasing to make sure that we can accomplish what we're trying to accomplish in community. So I'll take a step back and allow him to introduce and then share his visions.
Go ahead, Mr. Frazier. Talk to us.
All right. My name's Gene Frazier. With Hometown Lenders, I'm the market leader here for the DC and Baltimore region. We are, newly established here in the region about a year ago. We came over about August of last year, and have spent the better part of the year just getting set up and getting our business feet under us, starting to do lay some groundwork, for the implementation of our vision. I've been in the business for 23 years, two different companies, two, large national companies that I worked for, and Hometown Lenders. I came to Hometown because I was searching for a little bit of a smaller company. We're not that small now. We're going to probably do $10 billion nationally in loan volume this year, in the next 12 months. But so we're growing. We're one of the fastest growing mortgage companies in the country. But I partnered with Hometown because I had a vision for wanting to be able to be more intentional and more impactful in making a difference in some things that are very important to me. One of the things that really drove me last year as we got into the social unrest that was happening, and I felt like the place where I was, it was just doing all of the same things, not doing anything, different. And I wanted to really align with a company that was going to give me the space and to support my ability to try to be intentionally impactful about bridging the wealth gap and creating more economic opportunity for the multicultural space, particularly the Black community. Quite honestly, is where I want to be able to be impactful. The thing that drives me, and the thing that I, the owner of the corporate entity, I told him when we started, the stat that bothers me, and that I think can have an impact on, is that the net worth, the median net worth of a Black household in this country is about 10% of the median net worth of a white household in this country. And, a lot of that, one of the biggest ways to narrow that gap is through real estate, right? And so we want to do is be really, really intentional about creating more opportunity, breaking down the barriers. And really one of the big barriers is fear. fear and lack of access, lack of information, lack of good quality services, to the community. So we've got some, a lot of things that we're trying to do a little bit differently to sort of to break down some of those barriers and create more opportunity for folks.
Right. So, Gene, real quickly, I'll add. At one point, I asked Ryan. You guys are always out in the community. I see Ryan on the east side of Baltimore at Cecil Kirk events and all types of things. I was under the impression that, first of all, you all had been established for longer than a year. Like, y'all are everywhere at everything.
Yes, let me stop you right there and comment real quick, because I was thinking the exact same thing, my brother. Like, when I met Ryan, I've been in Baltimore, serving Baltimore over 10 years. When I met Ryan, I felt the same spirit, and I immediately thought, like, how have I not seen this guy before? He's everywhere. Like, I assumed we were just chasing each other's tails in the same communities, because this guy is like, he just dug in neck deep in the community doing stuff. And I was like, I don't want to use the word impressed, but I was encouraged. Like, we're not the only ones out here. I met this guy and was instantly like, there's our people. So
right. Do you remember doing a backpack drive? And I'm like, Chap, we got some extra backpacks. Like, gave you some backpacks, but even before then, we were already creating a synergy, creating a community of, give back and fortitude. So one thing I will say is that, Gene, I totally commend you and agree with you about the financial wealth gap. And even with Baltimore, we do financial literacy once a month just to give people free resources because it's and to your point, that wealth gap isn't going to change by itself. Right. And we have to understand how housing can be used as a tool to gain generational wealth. People aren't always able to see that because of projects like the Bell House Community Project. We were at a house this weekend where this senior of the community has been contributing and giving back for years, but has only been able to live essentially in her living room because the rest of her house is inhabitable because contractors came in, took out all the insulation, and then didn't put anything back in. So now there's exposure to outside and freezing in the wintertime, just ridiculousness. But $250,000 overall worth of work. Had Miss Bell been able to keep up with her housing, that could have been a home equity loan instead of, you know what I mean? Right. This community need to get together. And I really do believe if people understood that deferred maintenance on your home is one of the worst things you can do, it starts to violate your homeowner's insurance. But these are things we don't know, because if we've never owned anything, we don't understand how insurance works. Or do you know what I mean? And not to say that we're all absent-minded and this is just some mythical thing. No, it's just understanding the bare basics of how to keep your money in your pocket and make it grow, right? Like just simple things. So I love the idea of the of bridging the financial wealth gap, but also you all had a whole Secure the Bag Academy for youth. Like, tell us about that. That was not a week-long project. That was several weeks. Was it 8 or 9?
Yeah, it was 8 weeks.
Yeah. It was 8 weeks. Yep. And it was so Gene had passed the puck to Mr. Rhonda Lewis, one of our senior LOs and our one of our sales managers, to impact PG County. But we also opened up the link for also Baltimore City as well to hop on and get involved, which is some of the communication that you got from me as well, Quida. And we were able to build a 8-week curriculum for age group of 13 to 18 years old to learn the beginning, the middle, and then the ending stages of the beginning of understanding wealth and financing. so that these kids can start to come out of the household not necessarily surviving but thriving.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. And so was that the first time you all had did something that long for youth specifically?
Yes, it was the first time that our branch has done something like that. And listen, this is a part of a long line of things we're trying to get accomplished. But to get back to the Security Bank Financial Literacy Academy, we were able to one give away a $500 scholarship for a winning student. Everyone got T-shirts and gifts from our hometown lending Chap store, a front online store. And then just a great last week. The final session, we did a great game. We had a great game and got them all engaged, and they had a great time, and it felt good. I mean, listen, you guys are in community, right? And every time that you impact life, it feels awesome. It feels great. It makes you feel like something that nothing else can ever give you, because you're impacting legacies that you probably won't even ever meet, right?
Absolutely.
And that, having that entire 8 week program, something that will perfect, right, but then also repeat, is just another testimony to one of Gene's visions that has been bridging the wealth gap, but then also investing into our youth, investing into our communities to make sure that they know that this is the way that hometown loves.
Yeah. So, bridging the wealth gap is not, with real estate, isn't just about helping people become homeowners. That's a huge part of it. That's very important.
Right.
We also think about, people already are homeowners in certain neighborhoods, right? To the extent that we can educate folks, like what you were talking about earlier, and also, in other ways to help strengthen communities that are existing that have a majority minority population. We strengthen those communities. We raise the property values. That raises people's net worth as well, right? And people don't really think about that as much. But the other way that we want to use real estate to help people bridge the wealth gap is through, careers in this space. Investing in, becoming investors or becoming real estate agents, becoming loan officers. We created a mortgage analyst program earlier this year to recruit and develop and train the next generation of folks as an entryway into our business. We're going to be doing it again in the spring. We're looking to launch our own little scholarship fund next year for to identify. We're going to do a cohort of 6 folks, 6 kids in the spring or summer to help them obtain their real estate license. We're going to give them wraparound, training as well, and then ultimately link them with real estate professionals with a job, as well. So, there's so many ways real estate creates so much economic opportunity in our country. And we're just trying to use it as a fulcrum to be able to impact lives in so many different ways.
Right, right. So one thing that I will add is that Baltimore is investing millions and millions of dollars into development in
Mhm.
Baltimore. And to your point, Gene, it creates so many jobs that people don't even realize are needed. We need
Yeah.
inspectors and appraisals and all of these things
Right.
that create a whole network of people that need to do the work, so if people were to understand all of those different intricacies,
Hmm.
everybody could fill in their own little lane and fill up their own little part so that we can
Right.
just keep this wheel rolling and not
Right.
have to look outside our community to bring in appraisers or someone to inspect the home,
Hmm.
or lenders like yourselves, like having lenders that people can talk to and understand Ryan comes to our walk with the doc over at Lake Montebello, which we have weekly. And he'll understand, like, there are people that are like, hey, wait, you guys are lending in Baltimore City for what amount? Because we don't hear amounts lower than, 150,000, 125,000, because people don't see the value in a loan that's not, that upwards of 200,000. So thank you for thinking about that, because as a property manager, helping people put the pieces all together, that amount of money and being able to tap into those types of resources is still something that helps to contribute to, like you said, generational wealth and bridging those different gaps. So thank you for having the vision of not making everything $350,000 or higher, right? Because that creates a gap as well.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that, it kind of is another topic we can talk about for a long time, but it ends up becoming a part of the challenge in our business as well. Because what we find is that the Black loan officer, typically, the 95 or more % of their business is, from the Black community, right? Whereas, the white loan officers cross over into both sides a lot more easily than in the other direction. And so what happens in the Black loan officer then has a preponderance of clients that have smaller loan amounts, all right, and some of the traditional challenges that we face. So it becomes difficult for a lot of the Black loan officers to build a career. Transparently, what Ryan started out with us as a loan officer, just fresh from the business, didn't have any, and this is before he started with me with a different company, before we developed this great training program that we just rolled out. But it's not just the training, it's also the nature of the business and trying to get started and working with people that need a helping hand. And it's just a challenge, right? And that's something that we're trying to attack, as well, is how do we allow for the originators that we have, and we have diversity. Not all of our originators are Black, but how do we create the opportunity for them to build their business successfully, but also not want to neglect the people that really need the help because their loan amounts are smaller, because they need more help. They need more hand-holding through the process. So one of the things we've developed, and we are developing right now, we're workshopping it, right now, is something we call the home buying support groups. What we're doing is creating a way that can allow the loan officer to be a little bit more efficient by working with multiple people at one time, while also breaking down some of that barrier that some of the folks feel about starting the process, right? Because one of the big barriers is fear.
People are intimidated. They're like,
exactly.
How much money and what
Right.
do I have to sign? And this
Right.
is going to take out, and I can't spend my money or open a new account. And you're
Right.
telling me what?
Right.
Like it's like shell shock. So yeah, go ahead, Gene.
Yeah. So exactly. So that's what the deal is. So we're trying to create a support group. We're creating pods of 6 people, and we're testing it out. We think 6 is the right number. We'll see. Maybe it's a little more or a little bit less. But we're creating these groups of people where they're going to work together as a team. Ryan is great. He's the goal coach, in the process, and we linked him with a loan officer, and Ryan's engaged with them throughout the process to keep them motivated, to keep them engaged in the process, to make sure that they are staying on track. They end up having a consultation with the loan officer to set their game plan up, the pathway up to getting to the point of being able to purchase. But the goal is for them to learn together. The loan officer can have one conversation with 6 folks, but we're also in a group chat. We have a great platform using a tool called Mighty Networks, where we've got group chats going on with the different people that are part of the cohort. So they're learning from us, but also they can learn from each other and also get that encouragement from each other to stay focused on achieving, their goal. Because one of the things that we find quite often is that people don't see it all the way through because life gets in the way and something happens, right? But if you have some accountability partners, in the process that can help you. I was reading a book the other day that said that when someone is facing a hill alone, the hill looks 10 to 20% steeper than it looks when you are facing it with somebody else that's going to climb that hill with you. All right. And so what we're trying to do is to, flatten that hill out, for folks and make it a much more accessible and attainable goal.
Yeah, not only that, I think that it's really inclusionary, like creating those open lines of communication amongst the cohort and not forcing it to be some sort of hierarchical relationship between just the person and the loan officer. Understanding that we can learn from our peers. Like Baltimore is a city of all of these accelerators and cohorts, but I don't think that there's that navigator piece, that loan officer that can hold your hand. What you actually said, Gene, that sparked something was wraparound services.
Right.
I hear that for people who are in need of housing or unhoused. Never hear that for people who are thriving, because they need wraparound services too, but we don't think of it that way. We're like, oh, they got their stuff together. They'll figure it out after they get out of this class. And yet and still there's a web of how do I register a rental unit if I decide I want to be a property owner or landlord. Like, do you know that you need to register with both Maryland and Baltimore and pay for an inspection and schedule the inspection? There's so many different things to becoming a legal rental property and renting out a room or house hacking, all these different ways that you can finesse your home ownership so that you're, speeding up that building up your little nest egg. But all of these things, people need help. They need to be able to ask questions and, like I said, learn from one another. So I love the idea of wraparound services and a cohort of individuals that are interested in learning the same thing. I'm thinking I need to do the same thing for a cohort of tiny home and people who are interested in getting funded for their tiny homes. I feel like that's something that's super hard for people to navigate and get the permit shipped and all that good stuff.
Because everybody's got different, experiences, and something that somebody else just ran up against, they had immediate specific experience with a situation, and you may not even know it, but just a quick conversation can help you quickly navigate something. I had a client recently. This wasn't really part of a cohort situation, but just kind of, specific to like having, the issue of just me talking, to people before you make decisions. She was going to file bankruptcy because she had a timeshare that she wanted to get out of, and she couldn't figure out how to get out of the timeshare. She called me and she wanted to refinance, as well. And I said, well, you can't refinance because now you're like delinquent on this debt. And I said, well, how much is the time? I think she said it was $10,000, that she owed on it. And she wanted to get out of it. I said, why don't you just call them up and offer them $1,500? They might go away. And she said, she called me back 2 days later. She said, Gene, they took the $1,500. Right.
He's like, oh my God, that worked.
Right. She's already filed bankruptcy and shut herself down for multiple years of being. Now we'll be able to refinance her in like 3 months after some of those delinquencies, those late payments, go away, get further in the review mirror. So that's just a one of these things where people don't, you need to talk to people,
Yeah, we
and
don't
a
know
lot
our
of times we
options.
just try to, we internalize it. We just try to solve everything ourselves instead of talking, using our network. And what we're trying to do is help people build bigger networks, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I listen, man. One of the greatest things that I found working with Gene, working under Gene, has been his vision. He kind of sees things that most people can't see, right? Which is great leadership, because if we don't know what's coming, but he sees it before it happens, that's almost a prophetic gifting in a sense, right? Because he's developed a mortgage analyst program to bring people into this business that would not last long if it were not for the system that he implemented and placed them into, so that they would be set up for success, right? For myself, like, just to give you a little history on me, I started in this business and my first year and a half was rough, right? But he had enough understanding to allow me to struggle through it, understanding that I'd be here talking talking to you guys eventually in the right spot, in the right place that fits me and fits me well. Right? Financial literacy programs and these programs that we're putting on for people, for a wealth gap that most in this city don't know we need to close, right? And that's one of the greatest the greatest feelings of knowing that when you have leaders that can see what others cannot see, things that are not present, right, but understand it and understand it thoroughly, and will think through a problem that hasn't even presented itself yet. I think is one of the dopest, right, safety nets that I've ever been a part of, to be honest with
Well,
you.
one of the things I want to say on that though, Ryan, is that what I want to do is to encourage more people to get into our business, get into our industry, right? And more people, like the type of people that are listening to this program, even people like Quida. I mean, some of the people that you've been introducing me to, Ryan, that have a heart for service and that care about the community. We need more of them in our business. What the deal was with you, I didn't know. We didn't know how it was going to work out, but I knew that this business needed you in it, right? And so you have to have people that have in decision making capacity, to that have that heart for service, that are thinking about how to leverage the position that we're in, the business that we're in, to be able to make a difference. And then we just, this thing just kind of, we it figured it out, right? But there was a reason that we stuck it out, and you are like, you're a phenomenal ambassador for our company, but also a phenomenal resource for the community. And we're just getting started. All right. And so anybody that's listening, to this, that's interested in exploring, this is a pretty lucrative career field, quite honestly, that we're in. And if you have the
Absolutely.
ability to connect with people, understand and communicate financial, terms, it's something that I want to talk to you, because I want to get more good people. And there's a whole lot of people in this business, and Ryan knows it, that are really focused on the dollars,
Yeah,
Right,
and
right.
that's okay. That doesn't make them bad people. I'm just saying we need more people in the business that focus on people, and then
yeah,
realize that the dollars will come, right?
Look,
yeah,
I'm listening to you guys, man, and everything you're talking about, and to to your points, Gene, everything you're talking about as far as relating to your industry and what you guys are doing, um, these principles and truths are applied to everything. You talking like one thing I appreciate you confirming that people of color being on a measure of like 10% to the median. We've talked about that before in the show, where someone in my very identical situation who is black is valued at $6,000, but my situation I'm valued at 60, and it's only because of my color. These things you're talking about as well in the community, where it's the same for politics. Like politics is all of our politicians. The reason we're in this situation is because a lot of them are chasing the dollar and they're not about the people. And then we need, in general, not just in your business, but in general, we need people who are about the people to step up and take leadership.
Right.
Um, we have we have people who represent us that think that they're the leaders, and they usurp our power and they usurp our titles when we need to realize men like yourself, men like Ryan, are the leaders, and an elected official simply represents us, but it gets flipped on us through, and we don't really understand the system and how it works to take back that power and take back the reins on that. But I appreciate everything you're saying as far as your industry and your heart for the city as well. And I just want to reiterate, like when I met Ryan, like you mentioned, you guys, been in Baltimore for a year. It's like still not ringing. It's still not making sense to me because of the depth and wealth of relationships and the depth and wealth of community service that I've seen since I've met Ryan this year. Um, I've been doing this over 10 years, and this guy caught up to me in a couple of months. I ain't mad at you, bro. Like, damn, like y'all are doing something right, man. You guys are doing something right, and it needs to be proliferated if we're going to help our kings and queens out here rise into and step into their kingship and their queenship. It's not words, it's not policies that's going to do it. Like we're from Baltimore. We all we need. But it takes action. And so you guys, I can tell you to people watching, I can tell you guys that these guys take action. These guys show up when you reach out. When they have resources, they call us and they say, where do we need to take these resources? Like, I've never experienced that in my life until now, until I met Ryan, because I'm the one people call for resources. And then I just start blowing people up and running and gunning and hustling until we meet needs. And it's so surreal to be able to go to someone like, and I'll shout out to Monique with R.E. Harrington as well. Like Monique, Val would hug, don't shoot. Ryan, I can call on you guys and say there's a need, but usually you guys are calling me first. You guys are beating me to the punch saying, hey, we got stuff. And it's so encouraging. It's so empowering to those of us in the community who for so long have been out of pocket and we just run ourselves ragged. Then we take a respite for a week or something, or maybe a day even, and then we get back to it, to have people with wealth and resources and coming alongside to encourage and just amplify our efforts, man. It's invaluable. So thank you guys for what you do, and thank you for your heart for people, not just Baltimore City, but for genuinely caring about the person. And if we were talking about a specific person, I know that you guys know their names because they're not clients, they're not customers, they're people with names, and that's the difference. That's the difference than, someone just being a number on a data sheet or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And Gene, I know you gotta hop off, man, and you gotta go. You gotta go grab your wife. But I wanted just to tag on to what Chap just said and what Quida noted too, about this greatness that you see that this community needs in Baltimore and the DMV area. And how we want to invest into our younger generation, bringing them into a very difficult business to get into. I wanted you to explain the scholarship program that you want to initiate, and to make sure that folks like myself get into this business but stay
Right.
via the avenue that you're creating.
Well, it's two things. We did, we have our internal program to bring people into our company. We call it our mortgage analyst program. What we, a lot of times folks get hired into this business. Either they just come in and they throw you out on the street and try to get you to, sell some mortgages. It's tough, or they bring you in as an assistant. You're kind of a gopher. And which is fine. It's a good way to learn and get your feet wet. But what we want to do is bring people in and give them an intense period of training, kind of modeling it after the way the consulting firms, do it. And but we bring them in as a cohort. I'm a big believer in this whole cohort strategy. I believe that you can accomplish more together than you can independently. And so, we're going to be, launching another cohort. We are, in terms of bringing folks into the business, we do sort of have a screening, piece, because we want to bring people in that have the potential to be successful. This not an indictment of someone's intellect, because certain people, like, I could never be in IT. I think I'm a pretty smart guy, but IT, I would never be able to be an IT guy, right? But this mortgage thing makes sense to me. Some people, numbers and mortgage, these terms and stuff, it just doesn't make sense to them. So we do have a little bit of a screening process to make sure that you have an inclination for this. And if you do, and you've got the right, heart for service, you really fit our culture of really wanting to help people, and you have an ability to connect with people, then we're wanting to bring those type of people into our business. But the other thing we're going to do is, like I said earlier, we're going to do it in summer. We're trying to figure out who are the people that we're going to be, eligible for the program. We're going to do it twice a year. We're going to create a scholarship fund. We're going to take 6 folks that aren't necessarily college bound or anything, and have them, and take them through the process of getting a professional certification in the real estate industry that is in a career path that has unlimited income potential. And we're going to then, link them with a job. We're going to put the whole package together. So that's going to be coming, in the summer. So we'll look forward to that. And one of the last thing I wanted to say is that the stuff that we're doing, it really is an investment. The big company, a Wells Fargo or Chase Bank, because they have CRA requirements, Community Reinvestment Act requirements. They have people that are in a similar role to what Ryan's doing. Not most of the times, they're not really getting down.
I've never seen one of them.
Right.
Right.
Don't do that. Like,
Right.
as much as they're supposed to, and they
not
have
calling me.
to,
Right.
it's not the same. It's
Right.
not on y'all level. I don't even know why you're mentioning their names. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Well, my point is that it's an investment, and the way that only way we're going to be able to continue the investment and grow the investment, and then also spread it. We want other companies to mimic us, in what we do. But if they're only going to mimic us if it's because we're successful,
Amen.
because our business is growing and booming. And so, what we hope to generate is a lot of folks that are saying, hey, we want to, support your business. Not just the people that are, needing all the hand holding. We need everybody to support our business in order for us to be able to do the work that we're trying to do to help really reach down to bring everybody along and create opportunity for them, in real estate. So that's my little plug, from a commercial standpoint.
It's a big plug. We got big energy over here, Gene. Ain't nothing little about shared space. We got big energy, okay? But that's beautiful. We'll bring you back on once y'all finalize everything with the scholarship. But I know we're gonna have you back on because we're talking about doing some micro shelters in 2022.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be our project in the spring. We're gonna build our own micro shelter with small to more homes. I love the work that you're doing. It's phenomenal. It immediately spoke when Ryan, introduced you to me. I'm like, yeah, this is it. We're all about it. So I can't wait to get started.
Me either, Gene, because I already got some ideas. I was pitching Ryan this weekend. I'm not going to say anything on camera, but Gene.
Hey, look, and while we got you on camera before you leave, man, let me officially say, I'm really excited about what you guys are doing. I'm not working. The show don't pay, so sign me up. Sign me up, man, because I know people. I love people, and if you decide I'm a fit, bro, let's do it.
Let's talk. Yeah. All right.
I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are doing great things in Baltimore.
Okay. All right,
Ryan,
I
are
do
you
have to
able to
bounce. My
speak
wife
with
is
us?
getting in from the
Yeah.
airport. So,
All right. Thank you
all right.
so much, Mr. Frazier. We will
Thank you
definitely
guys.
have you back on. You have a
All right.
blessed
Look forward
holiday.
to it. All right. Take care
See
then.
you.
Bye bye.
All righty.
Man,
Oh,
all right.
yes, that was awesome. That was awesome. So, Ryan, you all have a bunch going on. Thank you for keeping the pop up at the Walk with the Doc. It was great to join the artist known as Patrice as well. I'm going to keep calling your wife that. I don't know if Patrice likes it or loves it, but that's her name to me.
Speaking
So,
speaking into existence. I love it.
hello.
No, and I want to say I'm encouraged, man. I'm encouraged um, to meet the guy who's mentoring you and see the not the source. We know who the source is, but see who's cultivating your energy because you come with big energy and you come like I'm telling you, man. I just like to say that to him. Like you really just you got roots, man. You like you've been here or something, and you are here now. So it's encouraging to meet the person who's helped cultivate that. Is basically everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
Respect, man. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah, man, listen, without question. And to be honest with you, Chap, I was just as amazed when I met Gene in an interview, right? I was not looking to be a loan officer. When I was, what was it, about 4 years ago now, I didn't even want to be in sales anymore. And I spoke to him. I was introduced to Gene because my godfather thought that I would be a great loan officer. And to be honest with you, I didn't even know what a loan officer was.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what that means. So
Yeah, I was doing a great job working for myself. I had just left Comcast, and I didn't want to be in sales anymore. And I had a conversation with Gene, and he was just like, man, listen, I think you got to be in this business. And I told him in the interview, I'm like, man, I don't want to beg for my money anymore. I just don't. I don't want to do that anymore. And he just kept telling me, like, listen, it's not what you think, right? And he actually encouraged me to find my why I would get back into sales, right? And at first it was a struggle. It was a lot to learn. It was a lot. It was some character that was built in me because of it.
mm,
It was an uphill climb. It
mm,
changed the man that I was. It took my mind off of money and put it back on the people. Because in sales, you deal with a lot of rejection, and I already didn't have a father, so I had enough rejection, right? And so I just got tired of it, and I lost. Yeah, people were always my heart, but I had lost the avenue to them, to people, because I felt like they had shut me down. But we know that wasn't father. We already know what that really was. And Gene just had the ability to see what I just couldn't see. And one of the dopest things about it was, he encouraged me to step forward, even while I struggled. And I'm the whole time I'm dealing with anxiety. I'm like, man, he gonna fire me. I know he, I know, I know he gonna fire me, man, because half of the things that I'm doing, I don't even really want to do. So it's hard to give my maximum amount of effort. I'm still working for myself on the side, so the family has to eat. So I'm still putting some attention to that. He had nothing but patience for me, but then I'm a part of that community, and I started to realize, okay, he has patience for where I come from. He kind of saw me healing and knew that I would be able to reach back before I even knew that I was going to.
Isn't
mm.
that beautiful when people recognize the potential in you before you even know that it's there? Like,
Yes.
never mind, that I got a little talent, but no, they're like, oh, that talent is nothing compared to what you're actually going to be doing when you fit into this role that you are growing into.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that segues back into the Bell Community Project you were talking about, and how our seniors are so valuable.
Right.
Because for me, I've experienced, Ryan, what you experienced with Gene, through Chief Melvin Russell, through Thomas. What's his last name? Lewis Thomas. Why did I say Thomas? Lewis Thomas, with PowerFest, through Youssef over at Chase Towers. the men who are senior to me were the ones who saw me running around the city. Cesar Romero in Bayview, like guys who saw me running around the city in my camos and a tank top, like just pouring out everything I had and scraping and scrapping to take care of the community. And they put me in a nice pair of shoes, and they put me in a suit. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
they showed me, they put me in, the community put me in a Hummer. What?
Yeah.
Like the seniors, the men who had that vision and saw what I didn't see in myself, were able to pull me up and show me like what it needs to look like to be more effective. Where I've been in City Hall with, with Major Shorter and Dr. Bunley and Mayor Jack Young, and I've been at the table in City Hall in my tank tops and camis because they picked me up off the street where I was serving, but they needed to have a conversation about something going in the community. And I would say or share or give my truth, give the community's truth, and they don't hear me. And then I've been at that same table wearing a suit saying the same thing, and you thought I just gave them the most brilliant idea in the world. And it's like, well, I told you guys this 6 months ago, but it was about perception, and it was about the men and the people senior to me, and Monique Smith person, another person who counsels me, and Donnie Glover, and these guys cultivated me to empower me to amplify what was already inside of me. They saw it, but they said, no, you climbing the wrong side of the mountain. Let me bring you around to the path, and it's, so I understand, like, I just really, I appreciate you inviting us into your life and sharing that with us, man, because we all have those people, and the people senior to us have so much value that I think can be taken for granted. But when you plug into it, it's empowering. And then on top of that, like you spoke about the joy of being in the community and giving. And as a kid, I was having this conversation today. As a kid, you sit in church and you hear all the preachers give the rhetoric and the cliches of the joy of giving, and especially this time of year. And they're always using it as a advocate offerings and tithes. But until you really step out, plug in, and start giving and start doing in the community and experience that joy, then words kind of just go in one ear and out the other. But then when you experience it, you get addicted to it. And you're like, oh my God, I've never known joy like this, man. I want it. I want more. You know what I mean? And people around you want it more. And it just creates a different narrative for Baltimore than what is perpetuated.
Yeah. Chad, listen. In so many ways, when I first started Smaltimore, I would tell people I'm a professional volunteer. And they're like, what is a professional volunteer? I'm like, any free time that I have, I am in the community, because I am behind the computer, IT world, head down, building computers, not talking to humans or having human interaction, and like needing that connection to the community. So every free instance, I was working in DC. And so I was like, well, I guess I need to start volunteering out DC, because by the time I get back to Baltimore, all the community centers are closed. So I found places to volunteer in DC. Then I'd hop on the MARC train and come back to Baltimore. But it's like, it's embedded in me. It's necessary. It's getting into the community and talking to the people and understanding how can I contribute to this already performing thing and make it more efficient, smarter, better, faster, whatever, if that's what the community needs. Otherwise, I can just be a cog in the wheel and just fall back as needed. But knowing that I can contribute and, make something better than what I found it makes me feel like a better person.
Without question. Yeah, man, listen, it's interesting to me, man, when I run past personalities and spirits like you guys, because I get a chance to see for firsthand that, okay, God's not just working on me, right? He's breathing on everybody. He's breathing on some some influential spirits as well. Like, we're all broken in one portion of our lives, right?
Absolutely.
And still healing. But he's breathing on people in the community. He's breathing on, some of Gene's relationships. Believe it or not, man, I had a chance, I didn't see it up front because I was too broken to see it. I had to build myself. He had to build me first before I could come sit at the table directly across from Gene, right? And
Right.
it's interesting how all of that played out. But to me, I got a chance to see, like, dang, like Father really does have people sitting at tables really
Mm,
getting things done, because from afar to the masses, it doesn't look like anything's getting done.
Right.
But that's just simply not true, right?
Right.
It's just that positive ain't popular and nobody gets a chance to hear it. But there really are, spirits that are on the front lines fighting for individuals they don't know.
mm.
And Gene is a part of that. Quida, you're a part of that. Chap, you're a part of that. I'm a part of that.
Right.
And that right there is the true definition of the body of Christ, right? And I
Amen.
I take joy in listening to you all, watching you all work. I'm out there at walking with the doctor, and he start talking about things I'm actually dealing with. I start whispering to my wife, "Hey, can you ask this question for me?" Because I hate doctors, man. I can't stand them. And
But
and
we know that, and you're not the only one in the community that has that idea or that,
fear,
I don't
my
it
gosh,
right.
it's a phobia of mine, man. Because it just seems like they. And that's the thing.
Like
That's the
they're
thing
always
that I have.
looking for something.
Right. That's the thing that I have to change, man. That's the perspective that I had to change. Like you all were able to teach me that, that it's not, yes, there are predators, but Father also has a presence. And it's just about who you're in front of and where you have to be at the right time to meet the right people. And you guys were able to bless my life, man. And next thing you know, my wife in here teaching me how to stretch, me looking up yoga poses and all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And Lord knows, man, lower back pain is hell. That's
It
hell
really
on
is.
earth. you
It
know?
really is. So I'm glad that you decided to say something and that you happened to show up when that
Yeah,
doctor was there. Like God just keeps putting us where we need to be each and every
yeah,
time. And I'm so thankful for
Each
that.
each and every step, each and every
Yes.
breath, he has
yeah,
us like, sometimes people worried about, am I doing the right thing? Should I be doing this or that? Like the fact is that's on your mind's in the right space, and
yeah.
God always has me because I got ADD like a mug. Like I'll
Oh
keep,
man,
like
me
I have a
too.
calendar I'll keep right, and
Me too.
but you just do what's in front of you with excellence, and you keep it moving. And God always, He designed you like that. He's
Yeah,
got people on the way when you're struggling, when you don't know where it's coming from. He's already got the means on the way. Just keep moving forward, and it'll meet you on time.
yeah, yeah. I
And
agree.
it's a lifestyle, and it's such a easy. It's simple but complicated. But if you can, it's not something you have to buy into. It's something you have to learn and then settle into. Like when you do it, it just becomes a very stress-free life when like God's got me, and He'll teach you over and over again until you get it. He's got you.
Yeah,
Got you.
because just like you, Chap, I had to go into corporate America, and I didn't know how to do corporate America, man. I
Hmm.
was making good money, I was doing my thing, but I did not know how to be in front of corporate America. And I still had a little bit of, for lack of a better term, I had a little bit of hood in me still. And man, I went to the what do you call that? The thrift store. I didn't know how to shop for dress clothes, man. My first wave of dress clothes was pleated pants that was too big.
Listen,
Man,
we gotta meet y'all where y'all at, Ryan. At least you were trying to play the
oh
part
my
and show
gosh.
up,
I was
okay?
a disaster, Quita. I'm trying to tell you, man. And
You
listen,
showed up though.
I know. And it was crushing to do. It was crushing to show up too. Because once you got there, you like, I shouldn't have these pants on. I gotta
Ain't
still
no
got my
turning back now.
right, right. And you gotta endure that, man. You gotta endure that. But all of that's changing. All of that was molding, shaping, crushing, right? Right. Crushed grapes, wine. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Crushed olives, crushed olives, get that oil. All of
yes.
it was a crushing. And I look back on it, I can laugh now. But man, chat, when we were in it, Bro,
Yeah,
I know you
yeah.
know it, man. I've had some times on my drive home talking about crocodile tears, and I was straight angry. And you get so mad that you can't swing on nobody, so you can't do nothing but cry, right? And those were the moments
Hey,
that he was building me, teaching me, pressing on me, like, man, you too angry as it is. You can't swing on nobody now. You might as well go ahead and cry. Ain't nobody around. You know what I'm saying? Man, it was all building, and just to see it all unfold for not just myself, man, for Gene, and then to learn their history once you get to sit at that table, but then to come work elbow to elbow with you guys, man, it's been nothing but a pure blessing. And I really, really am grateful that I got a chance to meet you all, got a chance to stand next to you guys in community. Chap, man, never in a million years that I think you'd be on you, man, you. Right? Please don't take that personal, but never in a million years that I think that I'd be able to come down there on Pennsylvania Avenue on the corner, man, and see you all pumping the gospel into a very crazy portion of the city. I didn't think that would be you, man. And Quida, somebody needs
hey,
to love on the individuals that you are loving
yeah.
on, man, because they are purely forgotten amongst the common. And I am grateful to be bumping elbows with you all, man.
Thank you, man. And I'll take that segue to announce on the December 11th, because we had planned on doing a book signing for Baltimore, Black Baltimore authors. December 11th it's happening, and we started looking around for spots to do it. And something you said to me, Ryan, you don't know you put this on my heart, but something you said to me made me reevaluate. We had the Avenue Market in the back, that space in the back, as an option. But even the lady that runs it, Keisha, was like helping us look for other spots because she's like, you don't want to do that here. But something you told me made me think that we can't just talk about revitalizing Pensy Ave and bringing back Black Wall Street unless we're willing to do it. And we can't just talk about doing it unless we bring those events to that space now and continue to do it. And so we decided to have the book signing on December 11th from 10 to 12. We're going to have it at Avenue Market. And we're going to continue to have stuff at Avenue Market, like the gospel thing, because somebody in the community reached out and said, we need some church. And what do? Me and Quida and you, like when people say they need something, we just do it. And so we're going to continue to do stuff in Avenue Market. And in spite of the community and culture at the metro station and out front, because the people in the community that aren't part of that don't deserve to be neglected because it exists. And the people that are stuck in their addiction and stuck in that lifestyle also need to be exposed to different things to change their perspective. And they need to see you out there so they can see what it looks like to come from not a great space to becoming spiritually and physically and emotionally healthy and wealthy. Like there is a path there, and if you don't know it, follow me, because this is the path I took and this worked for me. But they need to see us in that space. If we Chief Melvin Russell taught me a long time ago. He said light and dark cannot coexist. You never see, when you turn the lights on, it's not like the shadows are pushing back. The shadows are expelled to the edges of the light. So if we shine our light in the city, and we shine our light on the market, and we shine our light on Pensy Ave and in different areas of need, then the darkness will be expelled. And as long as we can stand and hold the light on that space, darkness cannot exist there. If you notice, when we did the gospel thing that one Saturday morning, everybody who was doing things that were not appropriate or legal, they took it around the corner. And for the next couple hours, they just were already set up, and they just continued to do stuff around the corner because we were holding down we were holding down the light in that spot. And so we just need to continue to do that, and in other spaces as we grow, because where we shine the light, darkness cannot exist.
Right. The one thing I will say that I love about Baltimore is that there is a respect among the streets. You know what I mean? Like we have to understand like the safe streets and the don't shoot weekends and all of these things. Listen, as much as we want to raise our eyebrows, they're ideas and ideals that we have to continue to try to adopt, because people are dropping and it's unfortunate. But the point that I wanted to make is that we have to keep showing up in those spaces because representation matters. And so many people are used to people showing up, disappearing, and never being seen again. So
Yeah.
having that constant presence and knowing, no, we're going to come back. Y'all deserve for us to come back. You need
But unlike
we're
certain
gonna come back.
organizations that you mentioned, we got to come and shine the light. We don't need to
For
be in
sure.
those spaces selling drugs
Oh,
or doing anything else. We
no,
need to
we
make
don't.
sure we shine in the light.
We absolutely don't need to be selling drugs, but we also can't pretend that it doesn't exist, because then when people come to the streets and they're like, "Oh, I thought I was going to volunteer,"
I'm just saying
this
that's
is
why my
too late.
eyebrows went up.
Yeah,
Because you
no.
got caught selling drugs and you still getting millions of dollars from the city. That
Well,
confuses me. That's
okay,
another
so
show.
see, there you
That's another
go,
show.
Chap, talking about something a little more political than what I was getting into, but I hear what you're saying. Yeah, so what was that
My
date?
turn 'em red.
December what?
I said my turn 'em red because yeah, no, but you're right. To your point, yeah, I agree. I agree that we and consistency. Another theme I've been beating in my head. God's been beating in my head through relationships and conversations like this is consistency.
Yeah, we gotta keep showing up.
Yeah, because you never know who you're impacting, right?
Right.
There are things that I witnessed as a young man coming up on Milton and Biddle, Belgian Avenue, and then eventually out in Essex, Northern Parkway. And there are things. There were nitbits, right? Little planet seeds that I got a chance to attach myself to. I wasn't a part of a full home, like a full home with a full foundation. I was in a broken home, but I saw them. You know what I mean? And I got a chance to see how they worked, which pointed my head up, pointed the trajectory up. And I got a chance to see that, okay, I don't know how to get to that, but I know it exists, right? So if nothing else, right, even if, yeah, Chap, you're right, man, there's always going to be resistance, man. We're not going to be able to push positive forward without some level of resistance, but the overall good, we really never know who we're impacting when we get there, and even amongst the evil that is currently going on while we're there. Somebody's getting that word, somebody's getting that positivity, somebody's getting that planted seed, and and looking at myself, looking at you, Chap, looking at Quida, we are fine examples of planted seeds and broken homes, man.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ryan, I really appreciate you coming on the show and chatting with us today at our shared space. I can't wait to have y'all back and we can tell people all the dates that you guys are volunteering with Baltimore Homes. Chap, do you have anything coming up this Black Friday, Thanksgiving weekend that you are getting into or need to talk about?
That is a good question. Yes, I will probably be out Saturday morning cleaning up in Sandtown over at Old Pinder Hughes School. 8 a.m. If you want to come help out, you'll see me. It's right at the big school behind Avenue Market. And the book signing on the 11th is coming up. Let me. I definitely need I need a little sit down interview with Ryan and Jean because I'm currently unemployed.
Hello, go ahead and
We
start
got you,
racking up
man.
them loans.
Hey, only if I'm a fit, man. But if I'm a fit, it's gonna fit real good. Trust me.
Yeah.
Right. Isn't that amazing?
That is good. I'm trying to find the ticker here, but I know that there's Black Wall Street. It's either Be More News or Black USA News. I don't want to tell you wrong until I find it, but they're having a 10th anniversary, which is also coordinating with the 100th anniversary of Tulsa. So, give me 1 second. I don't know why I can't find it right now. But do you have anything while we're waiting on me?
Yeah, sure. So every Sunday at Lake Montebello, we do Walk with the Doc at 9 a.m. On Saturdays at 2555 Harford Road, food distribution, produce distribution, volunteers show up at 9 o'clock. Those who want to put the produce in their trunk and get some produce line up at 10 for distribution at 10 7:30, and Friday we would typically be at Barnes Memorial, but it's a holiday, so we'll be back at Barnes Memorial for produce distribution at 1:00 on December 3rd.
Okay. Yeah. So December 9th on a Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. It's Black Wall Street Reunion. It's 10th anniversary benefit at Darker Than Blue Grill. It's a brand new spot. We're gonna buzz. We're gonna break the cherry on that spot and introduce it. So the on the ticker tape down here, you'll see you can sign up through Eventbrite. But we wanna come support Donnie, who supports us. Donnie gives us this platform to share our mic and in the community and have people talk. He's built up a great network of support and Black businesses in Baltimore. His parents being entrepreneurs back, I won't tell how old he is, but a long time ago, and put that spirit in him. He's written 2 books. He has his 2 media outlets, bemorenews.com and blackusa.news, to make sure that our people are informed with the truth, the news before the news, the truth, not the rhetoric we see on the networks.
Right, and he's a Morehouse man, so spell.
He's a Morehouse man. He's a Coppin. He finished at Coppin. Yeah, he's HBCU certified. He is definitely Hood certified, and I give him my white stamp of approval. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing, man. I definitely don't, because he is an activist and a fighter.
That matters, Chap. Your stamp of approval matters. Even though we are for the people, by the people, and for the culture, Chap, you are our people too. You know that.
Thank you. Definitely come support the Black Wall Street Reunion. This is a fundraising time of year. I'm going to make sure that Donnie is empowered to continue the work he's doing and continue to proliferate entrepreneurship, supporting Black businesses and restaurants, and making sure that our people stay informed. So, yep.
And then Brian,
can you guys
go ahead?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I was saying, I knew you wanted to say something.
No, I was gonna say, because my memory's horrible. Quida, if it ain't one thing you done learned about me by now, I am all over the place constantly. So if y'all can shoot me over some reminders, you can shoot it to me in an email or text message, man. That'd be great. And we'll do all we can to come out and support everybody, man.
Right, because Ryan goes on evening tours of events. We've met at one event. I talked to Chap the next day. He's like, "Oh yeah, Ryan was at such and such." I'm like, "How was he at your thing and our thing? Like, how is he doing this? Like, what?" Because when you and Patrice were leaving, I was like, "Oh no, we about to get another round," but you were off to the next party. Yeah. So yes, we know that you show up in support, and we appreciate you always showing up. So we'll definitely get those details to you as well.
I appreciate it.
Done deal.
All right, folks.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate your time.
Yes. Absolutely. And we'll be back, same bat time, same back channel next Monday at 7.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
See you guys.
All right. Love you. Bye.